friends with everyone, but you can just look and tell, like, you have the dance, and then you look over there, and there's all one color, and then you look to the other side, and there's another color. But that's just, you don't know, you notice it, but you don't notice that you're doing it.
So is there a difference between black people and white people?
It depends if they're good or bad.
How do you tell the difference between a good person and a bad person?
The way they treat you.
If a group of black boys walk into a mall, the cashier seems to hang around them. And it has happened to me, and it's ignorant of them, because I know there are some kids out there who just come into a store to do wrong, but there are some who aren't, and it's just cruel.
Some white people is friendly. Some black people is friendly. Some white people is not. Some black people is not.
People nowadays is ignorant.
About what?
They just do stupid things. Like a different race coming out of our building late at night. They might get beat up. A black person go in somebody else's neighborhood, they might get shot at, beat up. Never know. That's how some people is, racist.
Have either of you ever been discriminated against?
Not as I know of.
Not me. Unless, no. Nope.
As they move out of childhood, kids begin to wrestle with the pressures of the outside world.
Oh yes, Puff Daddy. I don't like Puff Daddy. He's alright. Did I just say that?
How do they deal with the issue of drugs?
Hey, I said I don't like Puff Daddy. I didn't say he was terrible.
Why do you think people take drugs?
Because they think it's very good or something, because their life is bad. And something like that, some people teach them to do it, and when they meet the gangs, they tell them, if you don't try drugs, we might kill you. And they stick the knife on their neck, and they say, okay, I'll do it, right?
It's everywhere, Especially since we live here, there's nothing much to do. People tend to do that more,
What specifically do they do?
People mostly drink here, smoke weed.
I might drink beer, but not that much, but I'm never going to try drugs. I'm just going to drink a little bit of beer once a year or so.
I say no. No, man. If friends of mine are doing drugs, I'll just stand there and it's funny when they're doing drugs. So
drugs, that's more. I'm not involved in any, but from what I hear and what I know, that's more. You've got to go look for it. It's not like you're going to just run into it. You know where it's going to be, and if you just avoid that, you're fine. Alcohol, again, I don't condone the use of minors using alcohol, but I think, that exists at parties. And that goes without saying.
They be wrapping paper up in it and putting crack and drugs in it, and then they'll light up with a cigarette lighter, and then they'll start smoking it.
I know a person who's doing drugs when I see one. If they strung out on it, I know. I can just look at them and tell, because I see so many every day.
Why do you think people turn to drugs? Why do you think that is?
Some probably have problems. Got things on their mind. So they do drugs to get it off their mind.
Were there a lot of drugs in your school?
I know you were going to say that. I saw that. Yes. There are. It's coming.
There are?
Yeah.
My God, Kate, half of our class is drug use.
Alexis, I have a question
I'll
to
call
ask
the
you.
police.
What if someone came over and said, hey, and he's like a boy, and he says, hey, try a drug, try a cigarette, and then you say, no, I would not, and then he sticks it in your mouth. What do? What I would do is I would spit it out and then run away, and then I would say, I'm not going to take these
And
drugs.
call the
police.
Yeah, I thought of it and stuff. I mean,
No, I don't think I'll ever try anything like hard. No, I definitely won't try anything harder that could endanger me at all. But I'm not saying that I'm not gonna like ever smoke a joint somewhere in my life.
I know a lot of people who have do or whatever tried coke, ecstasy, Special K, a few more like pot, like almost everyone has yeah, people have tried it, but
Ritalin?
that's not a big thing. Ritalin, a lot of people.
Ritalin is like a real.
Ritallin's a huge thing, but that's because a lot of people have ADD.
I see what it can do to a family, and I don't want that to happen. Like, I've seen what it's done to my family, drugs and liquor and violence, all that stuff. I've seen carelessness. I've seen what it's all. I've seen about everything. A lot of people say, and they're sure about this, who you around, you become. Who I'm around, I avoid. Instead of me growing up in a bad environment and becoming part of the bad environment, I become the opposite, you know? I use that to my advantage. Throw it all away. I was like, I don't want to be like him, I don't want to be like him. When I went to foster care, everything changed. The only good thing about it was I got stronger, like more outgoing, more understanding of things, how things work, you know? Who's there for you, who's not there for you, you know? My mom, she really helped me stay strong.
Why do you think you're so close to your mother?
I love her. I can't live without her. It's like, I've told her plenty of times, I'm staying with you till I die. You know, if I move, she's gonna move. If I'm living in a condo, she's in the next door condo. If I'm living in the garbage can, she's in the next door garbage can. It's like, we're just tight. I mean, I never did want to be away from her when we went to foster care. You know, I grew up with her. I've never been away longer than 2 years, you know? But, so it's like 12 years straight with her. And even during those 2 years that I was away, we still had visits. Every weekend. Visits. Holiday visits. And she used to go all out. I mean, she used to have shopping carts full of toys, and Easter shopping carts full of eggs and toys and games to play. Halloween shopping cart full of makeup and costumes, and a visit. This is just a visit. And it'd be like a normal day to her. She'd, you know, go all out. She wouldn't let anything change, except for, you know, her.
Are you humbly grateful or humbly hateful?
What are their thoughts about religion?
I like reading the Bible a lot, and I think that God and Jesus are real people. And I also believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny.
What happens to people who don't believe in God?
Well, God punishes them. Like, some people, they just die if they don't believe in God. And it really does hurt God's feelings. Well, I don't think they die. God doesn't kill them. Yeah, they probably get punished.
And they rebelled against God, which we know to be original sin. And look at the effect of sin. It destroyed the balance between a man and woman. Sexuality became a big conflict for them. And they ran and hid.
They should just let you believe what you want and not try and force it on you. Teach it to you because you're going to a Catholic school, but they shouldn't make you, go to mass if that's not what you believe.
I mean, we don't even know if we're right. I mean, it's just our belief. And if they believe that there's no God or anything, well, then that's their belief.
He created everything. I mean, if he can create you, he can destroy you, and you should love and fear God because he gave you life. He created what you live on today.
Why do you go door to door?
We want everybody in the truth. Like we have a presentation and we have magazines. Like say, hello, my name is Joy. I knock on the door and they come to the door and I say, hello, my name is Joy. And have these magazines that tell you about God's kingdom and how you can live in God's kingdom.
Is there a difference between Jehovah's Witness and other religions?
Yes, sir. If you believe in other gods, you won't be able to live in paradise. There's only one God, and that's Jehovah.
If God knows you have a good heart, if He knows you have a good heart and you mean well and everything, then I believe that you'll be resurrected. And we believe in a paradise on earth after Armageddon.
Do they cost anything?
No, ma'am, but you can donate to the preaching word.
All right. Will that be all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You have a nice day, too.
Thank you.
Do you believe you'll be resurrected after Armageddon?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, you try, but if your heart's not in it, then you won't. But I believe mine is, and I believe I will.
I need proof. I need evidence that, God exists. I mean, yeah, you're supposed to believe that He does, but if you're supposed to pray and you're like a little prayer and you pray, and I used to pray like every night and I would pray for all this stuff. And then the major stuff that was most important to me, I never got it. It wasn't even like, I wanted a bike. It was something that was so important and I never got it. It tested like my faith if I really did believe in it, and I don't have that proof.
Protect them from seen and unseen danger, dear God.
I pray that He watch over me as I sleep and slumber. I pray that I wake up in the morning that I be safe. And I pray for Him watching me and my sisters as we go back and forth to school.
Lord, there's so many people afraid to come out of their house and go to the store, dear God.
I've been born again and I'm safe.
Protect them from sin and unseen.
You have to believe in God because He's the only one that's going to protect you, be there, bless you, save you. And He's the only one that you can count on for anything. All you have to do is ask Him, and He may not talk back to you by mouth, but He'll talk back to you by blessings.
You can believe in it, but what's going to happen is what's going to happen. You come to this world, you're going to die. You might live, you don't know when. You might just go to sleep and don't even wake up the next morning. You never know.
When you believe in God, you have faith. And when you have faith, you can do anything you want.
There's some people who have absolutely nothing, and they're like the happiest people because they have God. And I want to be happy. And it just all began as, I just need something to do. Something to keep me out of trouble. So I went to church to keep me out of trouble. Then it just became part of life, part of me.
I pray, and I don't really even have like a set religion, but I pray because I need something to believe in, and I believe that everyone does, and I believe in God, and I like to thank God and for things that He's given me, and I like to pray to God for things that I'd like.
What are some of the things you pray for?
Things like, the main issues like violence and no poverty and like peace and then like, usually when I'm done with like the prayer for the world, I like pray for myself. Just like things I want.
Like what?
Like material things, or not even, like sometimes, yeah, but like mostly like, I really like, please let me do well on my SAT, or like, please let me like make a shot in the basketball game, or like, please let me get those new pants that I want.
Your hands out, that's it, one time. Go on, Marissa.
What does money mean to these kids? What are their feelings about wealth and poverty?
Well, I said, why don't poor people get a job? And my mother said it's hard for them because no one wants poor people. Yeah, and also they ask them where they live, and they're kind of embarrassed and stuff like that. Yeah. And they hardly have enough clothes.
It's so easy for people to say, oh, look what an easy life they have. They just get a paycheck every month. They don't even have to work. It's a horrible system. We shouldn't be sending them checks every month. But then think of the children. Think of the children of these young single mothers. There's so much the government could do. I mean, it could like cut spending and give. If we were to cut spending, we'd be cutting the money that's going to the people.
Cut like frivolous spending. That's what I meant. Like
country doesn't have many frivolous spending.
Do you think that our government should try to spread wealth out more evenly between rich people?
So that would be communism. Communism hasn't worked. If you're used to being very poor all your life, you learn to deal with it and you make yourself happy, and that can be like a state of happiness for you. If you're wealthy all your life, you learn to deal with it, you can make yourself happy. If you're middle all your life, same thing. If you're wealthy, then become middle or something, that's when it gets hard, when you have different periods of like changing. That definitely makes me sad when you just go from having a lot of money to having like less money, or having a little money to going to have a lot of money.
Does that scare you sometimes, that could happen
Yeah.
to you?
Well, it scares me a lot, and it does happen to me. It's yeah, I don't want to get like too personal with it. I just want to say that like there's just, I don't know, it's really, you just don't want to have inconsistency. For me, I'd always like to have the same realms of money.
They're always used to like living the good life where like there's no crime. You could like leave like a bike out in the lawn like overnight and it would still be there in the morning. But around here it would be like gone as soon as you walk in the door.
Why you can't go?
They think they're better than us like because they have a better neighborhood and like they got better houses and stuff. It just gets me angry like sometimes because they think they're better than us just because they got a better life than us. Or like, oh, they're in the big city, they must be in a gang or something. Or like, you know, they're living in the slums.
I would like to live in a mansion, but I would like to have a big land, because that's nice. Like maybe add a pool or something. You can't waste that much money that fast.
Is it going to be important to you to make a lot of money to be rich when you're out of school?
I'd answer that without sounding conceited. I think that would definitely be a goal of mine, for most everybody, I guess, to be well off, not to really have to worry about money. Yet I wouldn't say that would limit my life. I wouldn't want to say that would dominate my life. But just the way I've grown up, money would be an important issue to me.
The only reason why I would like to be rich is to satisfy my children for good things.
What would
like
you buy?
a lot of toys. Well, toys for them, because I know how good it feels, because I have millions of toys.
Just having money can, without appreciating what's around you, is just as bad as not having any money and being cynical about that. I think you've got to strike an even chord. If you don't have any money, to do without it. If you do have money, to deal with it, so that you can enjoy everything around it and just not the material possessions that you might own.
You think having money makes people happier?
Yes. And it can make me happier, you know, because I've grown up with not that much money, you know. It's been hard.
If you were rich, what would you buy?
I would buy a house. I would buy a doghouse, food. Now that's the point, food.
Me, I can stretch $1. I can stretch $1 for a week, you know. That's like, I could buy a candy and it'll last the entire week, you know. So I've grown up learning the value of $1.
The bad thing I think about being rich is like, then you get a lot of phone calls and you have to pay a lot of tax. Well, you have to pay a lot of things because you might own a lot. If I have a lot of money, I could like help a charity or something. That needs money and stuff like that. That's one thing I want to be rich by.
Why?
Because I could like help homeless people get homes and stuff with the money I get. Yeah, we could probably be saints. Rich person.
If you have a lot of money
And if there's people out there who are trying as hard as they can, and it seems like they can't, they're still poor, they still don't have a lot of money, I think that then that's when you should be very generous and give your money. But if there's people who you give them money and they go out and buy drugs and cigarettes, then they're not worth giving the money to. Or else, like the teenagers, they have like babies at 15 years old, the father deserts them, and they go on welfare with their child, and they don't even do anything to try to get out of the problems they're in.
Should rich people give their money to poor people?
No, they shouldn't. Sometimes they'll give them a little money so they can at least buy some food. They shouldn't, because see, they need it for themselves, and people, the poor people, they shouldn't been doing what they supposed to been doing, then they would have had been rich.
Some people feel like they're rich and stuff, and they feel, oh, they so high-mighty just because they feel they got all the money and stuff. It's the attitude.
Look who here.
We're not poor or anything, it's just sometimes it's financial problems. Like now, we're not having big financial problem, but we're having a smaller one because we just moved. And you know, things are not settled down with money things and stuff like that. So basically, we're not in debt or anything like that. We just have some trouble.
How about you, Leroy? Do you ever worry about money?
Nope. Straight.
You know that question when everybody asks you when you're younger, like, would you rather be rich or would you rather be happy? Well, I thought about that for a long time, and I always said I want to be rich, because I thought that if I was rich, then I'd be happy. But really, it really doesn't matter, because the only reason why you're getting rich is so you can be happy. So really, if you're happy, then that's the only reason why you'd ever need to be rich.
Like a poor person could become a rich person if they just work harder and get smarter.
Like, I always hear about people how they move up in life, and that's like, I don't even see how it's done, you know? Like, you always feel like, I started out like working as like a bank teller, and then I moved up and now I'm the president of the bank, you know? Like, I never see how that works out, but I think I'll do fine in life, but I guess I'm kind of worried about not having enough money.
You see all these rich people and you wonder, are they really happy with, you know, what they have and everything?
Yeah.
I kind of am worried sometimes that my dad will lose his job or whatever, because, like, his company cuts back on a lot of people lately. And so we kind of do live on a tight budget for simple reasons. My dad has to pay for college next year and my school, and they're not very cheap schools. And so, yeah, we don't have a lot of stuff to throw off on frivolous stuff and everything. So, I mean, I don't think I should have to worry because, you know, I'm only 14 and stuff like that, but it's kind of like unavoidable to not worry.
But you should separate yourself. You should make it your life so money is not as important. So if it did someday run out completely, it wouldn't matter. You'd still have other things.
If you were rich, what would you buy?
Nothing that I need right now.
Do you think you'll be married or have a job or both when you get older?
I think to have a job.
Good job.
My dad wants me to be a singer. And since I like to write, my mom wants me to be a writer. I think I'll choose being a doctor.
81, way to go, 80. She knows her facts.
I know what I want to be. I want to be some form of a doctor, you know, to help people. But other than that, I don't know which.
Do you want to have children when you get older?
I want to be independent as well as able to share something with someone else. So I want to have my own job, be able to, if anything happens, which I hope it doesn't, I'll be able to take care of myself. I want to have kids. That's it. I want to be independent and be independent with someone else.
I wouldn't want a very large family. I think because then I don't feel parental interaction with the children is as direct and as concentrated, which I think is important.
And I'm going to be the president, that's for sure, and probably a surgeon, probably a brain surgeon.
Well, business has been an interest of mine. So has medicine. I think the last time we talked, I was still interested in medicine, and that sort of kept through all these years.
Sometimes I want to be somebody that works on houses. Sometimes I want to be a comedian. I like comedians. I've always wanted to go up and be funny.
I might be a taxidermist, and that's where you mount things and stuff, you know, like fish and deer and stuff like that. So I might just go to school and learn that instead of going to college too.
I might be a librarian like my mother was before she was married.
I really want to become a marine biologist. I did a program where I did marine biology, and it just drew me even closer, and like I can't see myself in an office when I get older. I don't know why. I can only see myself on a boat in the middle of the ocean, like working in a shark tank for some strange reason. Like, I love sharks.
I want to be a singer.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this was Flying Dutchman, or De Flingen Hollander, and I was like dancing around in it. I like spun around on the stage and then went off. It was just like an acting part. In La Boheme, I was a boy in the second act and a girl in the third act. Then this is another picture from Falstaff. I did the opera for 5 years, love it. Will probably sing in my free time and stuff, but it's not going to be my career. I think I want to try and go into advertising when I'm in my 20s, 30s or so. And then all the meanwhile, like in my free time, be writing, try and get things published, like just as a hobby, but try and get things published. And then when I retire, I'm definitely going to live out like some rural place and just like be on my own and write like all day, all night. I just be writing.
I've always wanted to work as either like a teacher or a social worker in an inner city school. I don't know, that's always been an interest I've had.
I want to live on my own for a while, and don't think that right away I have to have a husband and then pop out a baby, because I don't know, like in my profession, being on a boat or, you know, I mean, marine biology, you move around a lot. And having a husband would be kind of hard because your husband has to move around. And right now, I wouldn't be willing to give up what I want to do. And then having
15 or not.
Well, and then having a kid, then you have to like give up a lot of other stuff too. So
I definitely say that I'm gonna spend a few years out on the town, living the life of an unmarried person.
A lawyer or a doctor? Or a director, like you are?
I want to be an architect or something, design stuff, because I like designing things. And so I maybe want to be an architect or something. I don't know, maybe a surgeon. Not like no regular doctor, you know, but something difficult, like not many people could do.
Army man.
Getting into computers, rap, basketball.
I know the best thing to make money for. A lawyer. A lawyer? I'm gonna be a lawyer. My mama's lawyer. She don't got no lawyer when I grow up.
A lawyer.
That's what you wanted to be when you were 7.
6.
So you still want to be a lawyer? Why do you want to be a lawyer?
Because I like the job, and Thurgood Marshall